Hello everyone, and welcome to week 2 of Sealed Saturdays. It is Saturday, February 20th, and we're going to open some more Modern Horizon boosters this week. Modern Horizons is a very unique and fun set for the limited format, which is why it's a great set to kick off this series with. We'll discuss the archetypes as they come up and build a few different sealed decks using the cards we open if we can. And here we go. Pack number 1. We've got a Goat Nap, a Smoke Shroud, a Wall of 1,000 Cuts, a Goblin War Party, Uzumala's Charm, a Winding Way, Winter's Rest, Weather the Storm, Magmatic Sinkhole, Hollowhead Sliver, Ruination Rider, First Sliver's Chosen, Tectonic Reformation is a rare, a Genesis is a foil rare, Snow Covered Land, a token, and a art card. Pack number 2 also starts with a Goat Nap. String of Disappearances, a Martyr's Soul, Bellowing Elk, Ninja of the New Moon, Stream of Thought, Subtle Beyond Reality, Slumgarger's Sorn, Cleaving Sliver, a Cave of Temptation, King of the Pride, Smiting Helix, Goblin Oriflame, and an Urza. Snow Covered Land, art card, and a token. We've got a Reprobation, Goblin Champion, Kite, Wall of 1,000 Cuts, Ninja the New Moon, Frostwalla, a Trumpeting Herd, a Gilded Light, another Magmatic Sinkhole, Anamorphic's Axe, Talisman of Hierarchy, Ravenous Giant, a Lonely Sandbar, a Force of Rage as our rare, a Snow-Covered Mountain, a token, and an art card. Number 4. We've got another String of Disappearances, a Martyr's Soul, a Fist of Flame, Smoke Shroud, Rime Tender, Changeling Outcast, Anamorphous Axe, Ingenious Elemental, Prohibit, Bovish Fury, Tempered Sliver, Cunning Evasion, a Talisman of Curiosity, and a Winds of Abandon. Snow Covered Mountain, an art card, and a token. Pack number 5. We've got a Moonblade Shinobi, a Reprobation, Bladeback Sliver, Choking Tethers, Headless Spirit, Rime Tender, a Volatile Claws, a Trumpeting Herd, a Gilded Light, Rain of Revelation, Undead Augur, Splicer's Skill, Soul Herder, Ranger Captain of Eos as our rare, Snow Covered Plains, an art card, and a token. And pack number 6. Got a Recruit the Worthy, a Goat Nap, a String of Disappearances, a Martyr's Soul, a Changeling Outcast, Treetop Ambusher, Elvish Fury, Anamorphic Axe, a Shelter, a Shenanigans, another Undead Augur, a Vesper Lark, a Munitions Expert, and a Collector Oop is our rare. Snow-Covered Island, land, and a foil token. Okay. So, what I'm seeing right now from our rares, we've got a couple of very nice blue-white cards, and a nice green card in Genesis as recurring creatures is a beautiful thing to do in a limited. We've got some mana ramp in our artifacts with the blue-red and the black-white talismans. We've got a very nice blue-white uncommon in Soul Herder. The Cave of Temptation and Lonely Sandbar are good for mana fixing. The Munitions Expert may be playable, but it comes down to how many goblins we have. Blue, we've got String of Disappearances, Moonblade Shinobi, which is one of the best commons in the set. Smoke Shroud, strings. Lots of strings are good. A couple of Smoke Shrouds for our Changelings, and a couple of other like decent filler cards. So blue seems to be very strong. Let's see what we have in white. We'll focus on blue, white, and green because we have some very good rares that are at our disposal there. So Vesper Lark is okay. Splicer's Skill is okay. King of the Pride is pretty okay. Settle is beautiful in the blue-white blink archetype. And our other white cards are actually not great for this archetype, which is unfortunate. It's maybe more of a splash white than an actual color we're playing. Look at green. We've got Trumpeting Herd, which is great. 2 creatures on 1. We've got 2 Trumpeting Herds. Bellowing Elk is very nice. Gets us more creatures. But also our other green cards are also not that great. Our best green card is Genesis, which is nice to have recursive creatures. Maybe we should dip into black. Changeling Outcast is a great blue-black card. It's unblockable. It's great for things like the Moonblade Shinobi. Got a Smiting Helix here as well. Ninja of the New Moons, which is again a great card with Changeling Outcast. Undead Augurs, pretty decent. I'm really looking like with this. With this, I think green is actually going to be out. It's going to be an Esper deck is probably our best bet here. You know, with this Soul Herder. The double Trumpeting Herd is very nice, but I think the Silumgar Scavenger is nice. And we also have a nice dual color Talisman. And the Lonely Sandbar. So I really think we're going to focus on the Esper colors. Headless Spectre may even be an include. Unless we have something ridiculous in red. Magmatic Sinkhole is a great card, but we have Goblin War Party. And the Ingenious Elemental. Goblin Oriflame, Goblin Champion, a couple of Goat Naps, which we have in Slivers. Slivers is a nice normally it's a red-white archetype, so we've got a couple of red slivers, 3 red slivers, Cleaving, Blade Back, and Hollow Head. And then also in white, we have a First Slivers Chosen. That's about it in terms of sliver cards. So probably not going either. I think blue-black ninjas splashing white is probably the best. With things like Urza and Ranger Captain and Winds of Abandon as our cards. This First Slivers Chosen may end up making it into the deck, just as an exalted creature. Would have been very nice to see something a little bit along the lines of an Ephemerate. Would have been nice here. Choking Tethers may make it in. That's a very decent tempo card. I don't think red is on the list. We probably have enough Snowlands to consider the Winter's Rest. Let's see what we're at with this. Putting aside the Collector Oath and these other cards. Oof. Sort this by CMC. Fours, ones. With the blue-black deck, or with the blue-black ninja deck, you really want a lot of low-to-the-ground cheap creatures. backed up with something useful. Vesperlark probably isn't the best option here. It would have been very nice to see a the Ranger Captains is just a 3/3 for 3. That's not necessarily the greatest here, but the curve looks actually pretty good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 27. So we do have 4 cuts to make. I think the Headless Spectre is probably going to be one of those, because it's not... Hellbent's an archetype, and Hellbent's not really a big thing here. And we might consider cutting something like an Undead Augur, but I do enjoy this card because it's something that you can just sacrifice. And with the Changeling Outcasts, King of the Pride, and Undead Augur actually becomes a lot better because it does trigger off those cards. This First Sliver's Chosen is probably a cut. It's a deck that wants to attack with a lot of things. And just like Blinking Urza is good. Splicer's Skill probably is one of the worst cards in this set. And in this as well. If we're going to consider the Winter's Rest, we might consider also a Mountain. We don't have any additional cards for the Smiting Helix, but even just using one end of it's fine. 4, 5, 8, 12, 13, 14, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is 24. I think it's okay to run one less land in this type of build. There's a 16 land build instead of 17. We've got the Urza to find some random things. It is a good blink target. Ranger Captain gets us the Changeling Outcasts. Unfortunately, it doesn't pick up much more. Or any other good 1-drops. Fairy Seer would be the ideal one. So, build 1, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to rebuild it as also a green-blue deck, because I think that also has potential, given we have some very strong green cards. Island-wise, got... This Winter's Rest is potentially playable, but I think we're good without it. Let's go meta-wise. Eight, 9 blue cards. So blue-black predominantly with a white splash. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue cards, and we've got 2 sources. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we want 7 and 7 and 2. I think is probably what we're going for. 7, 7, 2 seems like reasonable because white is a card we don't really need until turn. We don't really need a white until turn 3. 7, 7, 2. We do need double white for the Ranger Captain, so it might be worth cutting that and going with something like Reign of Revelation or just like an Eye Kite as a nice cheap flyer. Unless we have a black creature with an ETB, which it doesn't appear we do. So I might consider cutting this Ranger Captain. Considering it only finds a Changeling Outcast, it would be worth cutting that for this Eye Kite instead. And then we're just like a little light white splash for a Vesperlark, which also it only brings back the Changeling Outcast. Which again, it might not be worth playing. It might be worth playing, I think it's worth cutting actually this Vesper Lich too. And playing something like either Prohibit or possibly Stream of Thought or probably Winter's Rest will make it into the deck as an option. I think this is probably more of a playable bit. So that's how I build it as blue, black, white. I also want to explore the blue-green option. So we cut this black entirely. Still probably going to splash for white for some of these cards. Just because we do have very nice white removal. So let's build that. I missed a snow-covered swamp. Okay, so if we're going to build this as a blue-green deck, now the Genesis is probably in, as is the Collector Oof. Because even out as just a 2/2 for 2, that occasionally will do something is pretty good. I'm also going to use Bellowing Elk and the 2 Trumpeting Herds. This Frostwell is going to make it in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19. That's 20, so we get 3 more. We probably want something cheaper. Treetop Ambusher seems okay. Tempered Sliver actually seems very good with the Changeling Outcasts because they don't get blocked. So maybe we splash black instead of splashing white here. And go with like these 4 cards. Over these 4 cards. And this is more of just like this is more of just a value deck. We're a little less on the removal, a little more on the... Our removal is essentially just the string of disappearances at this point. And with 1 Winter's Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is a lot more stompy. Tempered Sliver works with the Changeling Outcasts. And that's about it. Black, green, blue slivers. Unfortunately, we don't have any more, but this is build 2. We're heavily weighted to blue, so 4, 8, 10. Probably looking at 8 islands here. Or 8 blue sources. 3 or 4 black, probably 4 black sources. That's not enough mana. 4, 8, 12. 5 green is probably not giving me enough green. We'll go down to black. We do want black relatively early because like our entire black sources are early curves. These Undead Augurs may need to trade for some other card. I think the Scourger over Augur, and maybe this Umezawa's Charm or the Smiting Helix. We're low on removal, so I think this is actually a better plan with black. That way we can cut down on the black sources. We have no way to flash back the Smiting Helix, but it is just still 3 damage. Removal spell. We need The mana is just very awkward in this type. I think the Esper build is a little bit better. But that's our 2 builds of this. We're a little bit into the ninjas archetype with the smoke shrouds and the flying creatures, and we got a very nice Moonblade Shinobi and some changing outcasts. But I think the Esper build is going to be a little bit more controlling and more on my style of play anyway. This is a very aggressive. This build is more of an aggressive, stompy build. But thank you again for joining us, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode. And we'll catch you next week.